Hey everyone, Sue Hansen coming to you here from my backyard in Wisconsin. And today on day 12, I think it is, of a 90-day video challenge, I want to talk to you about personal growth. And for me, yes, we're doing a 90-day challenge, but my personal growth has been occurring my whole life. From when I was a really shy little kid to constantly pushing myself to get over and get to a new level. And when I became interested in, I've always been interested in being an entrepreneur, but when I got into the online marketing field, you cannot be in this field, be serious in this field without without having a lot of personal growth, which I love about it. I think it's a great platform for parents. I am a parent, and if you're a parent, you know that your children can push your buttons beyond any other person on earth except maybe your spouse. The people that are closest to us definitely can push our buttons the most. Kids are the ultra, they're the perfect salesperson because they will keep asking and asking and asking and wearing you down on stuff. And they just, you love them so much that, and you want the best for them, that sometimes you can't, you're so conflicted. And my daughter is, she's 9, and she is so smart. She's so much different than me in so many ways, and so much like me in so many other ways. And it's really cool as a parent to see your kids, how they develop, what things of you that they just seem to have, inherited just because of your shared gene pool, and how they look at the world differently. She definitely is like my husband in a lot of ways, in a lot of the ways she does problem solving, and she's very smart in math, which definitely isn't me. And she doesn't like English, she doesn't like language arts, which is definitely more me, but we both share a love of animals. Cody, come here. Don't eat. My dog's out here, he's eating grass. And just before I finish my thought, you're gonna love this story. Come here, Cody, come here. My dog, who's a 110-pound Labrador, when we were working at our vacation home rental business yesterday, we're out raking, and we don't keep him on a leash. We have a big yard, and he never wanders off. He's such a good boy. And I look around and I don't see him. I'm like, uh-oh, where is he? And I'm looking around, and I'm looking out into the woods, and I start calling him. And usually when you call him, he comes right away. And he wasn't coming, and I kept calling him. Now I'm getting worried because he doesn't run off. He didn't have his collar on, which he always does, but he didn't because we gave him a bath, and his collar it didn't smell good, so we wanted to wash, clean his collar, but we hadn't put it back on yet. So I call him, and finally he comes. So a little while later, I'm raking again. Stick with me, you're going to enjoy this story. I'm raking again, and I look around, and the dog is gone again. I'm getting mad at him now because I want him to be able to be out there running around and not have to keep him in the house, and he doesn't normally run off, and I couldn't figure out what the heck he had to keep wandering off for, what he was interested in out in the woods. And this time I was calling him and calling him and calling him. I went looking for him, I couldn't find him. I was just getting worried. Really worried, like when you can't find your kid and they're supposed to be home. And so I was getting ready to go out into the woods and find him. I'm on my way out to the woods, and I see him walking out of the woods really slowly. I'm like, oh, what did he do? You know how they get that guilty look and they're all hunched over. Well, I said, come on, you go up on the porch and lay down. So I took him up on the porch, and he didn't get within 2 feet of me, and I knew what he'd been doing. He went out in the woods, he found the stinkiest thing he could roll in, dead something. I don't know what he rolled in, but it was one of those smells where you're just like, it wasn't a skunk smell, thank goodness, but it was a smell that we did not want to drive an hour and a half home with him 2 feet away in the back of the car. So I had to make a choice. Do I, take him down to the lake and give him a bath and then have a wet dog smell on the way home? Or do I try to take him down to the lake, wash him, and then get him dry? You know, we were supposed to be leaving to head home really in a very short amount of time. And, we decided the smell was too bad, so we took him down to the lake. And, of course, if you've ever had a Labrador, they love the water. And it was the first time in this year, so he is out there enjoying himself. And, we had to throw the stick for a while to get him all wet. And then we had to use dish soap because we didn't have any dog shampoo. And we gave him a bath. And we brought him home, and, he dried off. And on the way home, we're having this conversation. And my husband says, we were telling him how much my dog loved to swim, how much he was enjoying himself. And he goes, you probably just reinforced him going out into the woods and rolling and stuff, because now he knows, hey, if I go out in the woods and roll in something, I'm going to go down and go swimming. And I'm like, oh no, don't say that. So who knows? We'll have to see on that one. But, obviously, when you have a dog, just like when you have kids, it's a never-ending series of challenges. And I've had, a while now to try to get this parenting thing down. And I have to tell you, my daughter is, she's on the autism spectrum. And she's on the very fringes, of what they call the spectrum. And I still don't understand a lot of this autism stuff, other than it just makes kids that are quote-unquote autistic more special, and they have different ways of communicating, and sometimes, we don't know what's going on inside their head, but which has sometimes been a challenge for me as I've tried to understand and learn. My daughter has what they keep changing the terminology and the labeling, but what a lot of people know as Asperger's syndrome. And I usually don't say anything about this on my videos. In fact, this is the first video I've said this on, and the only reason I'm saying it is because I just got off I just watched a video from Nicole Cooper, who I really admire, and she was telling a story about another woman who has an autistic child, and he's in a totally different part of the spectrum than my daughter. And most of the time you wouldn't not even know my daughter is even on the spectrum, but there are those moments when you can definitely tell, and those are the most challenging for me. And I've noticed my own personal growth in when a situation arises that's usually very challenging for me with her, that I've just now, it's just happening to me now because of all the amazing people that I've surrounded myself with, and the personal growth, and wanting to get beyond my own difficulties handling challenging situations with her and not getting frustrated with her behavior. I'm just now finally able to kind of step back and almost see myself interacting with her during the situation, so that I can say, okay, normally my reaction in this situation would be frustration. I would take it for a while, and then I would probably blow up and go, okay, enough. Something, I couldn't take it anymore, because I've never been able to handle screaming or tantrums for no reason. Yeah, sure, she could vomit on me, all the normal kid stuff. She can be sick, none of that bothers me when there was a so-called reason. I don't think there's a woman out there who has a child who, we just don't get upset about the diapers, the scrubbing out the dirty clothes, the spilled milk, unless it's on purpose, the vomiting on us when the kids are sick, all of that stuff, the cleaning up the vomit when they're sick, all of that, no problem. It was just the temper tantrums or whatever, the exchanges when to me, it seemed like there was no good reason for it, and it was just going on too long, in my opinion. But, I don't know what's going on in her head, and it's just finally is occurring to me that how can I judge or condemn or criticize when I really don't know what's going on with her? I am different than her. I love her. And I need to find a way to support her without saying it's acceptable, because sometimes it's definitely not. And that's, I'm better able to do that now because of my personal journey. And so I just want to encourage you, if you're struggling with something, and maybe you've been struggling with it for a long time, and sometimes it feels like, especially with autistic kids, because you might be out in the public when something happens with them and you get embarrassed and it feels like everybody's looking at you. And that's really hard. I have had instances where, I'm not talking about when you're shopping and your kids are little and they just have the normal childhood temper, the temper tantrum where they're having a fit because they're overtired or something. Like, I want that toy. No, you can't have it. I want that toy. No, I said no. And then they have a tantrum. I'm not talking about that. It's a totally different situation for autistic children, depending on where they are on the spectrum. And people don't always understand, and it's hard, and you don't want to have to explain yourself or your child to people. And I'm finally at the point now where I'm okay with, I won't say 100%, but I'm a much better able to deal with situations where I'm trying to be. I'm getting better. So yeah, continuing journey, but just keep at it. I know this video is long, and maybe I'll put it into 2, and just get around a support group, even if it's a support group that doesn't seem like it's specifically about whatever you're dealing with. Yes, if you have a group that's dealing specifically with whatever you're having a difficult or challenging time with, search those out. But I want to encourage you, to connect with our group, with our our Superwomen's group, with people that have maybe not the exact challenge, but they have other challenges, because I didn't know what I was going to cut my video about today. I had no idea. And I love Nicole, and I wanted to just see what her video was about. I turned it on, and she was sharing these stories, and it was relevant to my life and something that I have not shared. And because I am trying to be more authentic with you, and I want you to see that all of us in this industry, we're just normal, everyday people that have the same struggles that you do. We want to be home with our kids like you do. We want the best for our families just like you do. And the only difference is we've decided to take on the challenge. Her video was about, more broadly, what Empower Network has to offer people. How can they take whatever they're personally passionate about and use the Empower Network blogging system, the Empower Network leadership, it's a leadership factory. The Empower Network, the entire community of supporting people to get their message out there so that they can help other people, and in the same process help their family bring in more income so that they can accomplish what they want to and help even more people. And that's the cool thing about Empower Network. Whatever your message is, whatever you want to share with the world, you can do that on this platform. You can talk about whatever you're passionate about, and people that are also passionate about that are going to hear your message. They're going to feel like they want to connect with you. And some of those people are also going to need to make money. We all need to make money. And some of those people are going to come in and want to work side by side with you to get their message out there. You don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about constantly putting on a message. How do you make money from home? How do you make money from home? How do you make money from home? That's not what Empower Network is all about. That's almost a side benefit of everything else. So I encourage you, if you want to connect with people that are amazing, people that will help you grow in ways you don't even know you can grow, look for the link below or on this video and find out more information. We want you to go from wherever you are over here where you're having difficulty. We want you to align with us, and we want you to move to a place where you feel confident, you feel peace, you feel security, you feel joy. It's all out there waiting for you. And I know personally, I have never felt more like I'm in the right place at the right time, surrounded by the most amazing group of people that I've so yearned for so many years and had missing, because I was kind of, going about my life kind of in this little bubble of my family, whom I love, but I need more than my little family, because you get to a point where you've grown almost as much as you can when you're in that little circle, and you need more. In order to keep being happy, you need to keep growing. And there is unlimited growth potential when you get around this community. So, long video. Hope you stuck around to the end. Please leave me a comment. I know I was a little all over the place. That's what happens when you don't rehearse a video and you talk from the heart. And I would love to connect with you. So leave me a comment. Leave me a video comment. That would be so awesome. Let me know what you're struggling with in your life, what you're doing to overcome it, what you've already done. Let's help some people together. Let's help some people together. When you share your story, others don't feel alone in their own story. And sometimes one little thing you share is just the nugget that someone else needs to get to the next day. And isn't that an amazing feeling, to help another human being? Take care. We'll see you tomorrow. And I can't wait to connect with you again.